Hi everyone. Today we're going to put glitter on this tumbler. Our end goal is to do a peekaboo. We're going to use resin to put the glitter on the tumbler. I've already pre-mixed the resin. I've already gotten my tumbler ready by sanding it and painting it. And the glitter we're going to use today is called Pixel Dust. And this is a really pretty glitter. And you can find this on myjelinas.com. I will put a link and a discount code in the description. Along with that, I just wanted to show you two others that kind of go with the Pixel Dust. And this is Trust. And then we have another glitter called Faith. These guys are really pretty. Now, the tumbler we're using today is from Griffin Blanks, griffinblanks.com. I will put a link to their site and a discount code in the description as well. So to start off with, we're going to put a very, very, very thin layer of resin on this tumbler. Just enough really to get the glitter to adhere to it. So what you want to do is you want to just put a very thin layer and pull it down as much as you can as you go along, because what you want is something really thin. You don't want much on there at all, and you don't want to pour it on. I do it all by sticking my finger in the resin and then putting it on the tumbler. And as you go along here, you'll see that you can tell when you get to a spot that doesn't have resin on it very easily, because your glove will like stick and stop. So we're gonna get this guy going. And I got this request to do this video from one of the Facebook groups, and it's going to take a couple of steps. They want me to do a peekaboo, which I'm going to do, with a smoke effect on the peekaboo, which will be very interesting. I've done one already, and so this will be white. I'll spray paint white over the peekaboo when once I get the glitter resined. So we're going to put the glitter on today, and then our next step will be, after the glitter dries, will be to put a couple of coats of resin on it, because what we want to do is make a really smooth surface for that peekaboo. If it's not smooth, what happens is it gets all like clumped up. It looks very clumpy, like you have glitter poking out in areas, and it doesn't look smooth. It doesn't look pretty. So we've almost got our resin on here, and what I'm doing is I'm taking the extra and wiping it back onto my cup. And this uses maybe 3 or 4 ml of resin. I want to make sure that I got my edge, and so what I'm doing right now is I'm pulling off any extra and wiping it back on the side of my cup. As you can see, I work with a lot of glitter, so there's a couple pieces of glitter already on here, but we'll cover it up, so no big deal. And, well, that's kind of heavy right there. You can tell if your finger moves really easily across it, it's probably got too much. You really want a really, really thin layer. And whatever you do, don't forget to get your tumbler butt. All right, this looks pretty good. Now, I put my glitter in a cup because it makes it easier to put on. And it looks like you use a lot of glitter, but a lot falls off, and you can take that and put it back into your glitter container. The glitter isn't bad because of that, so you can put it back into your glitter container. So let's do this thing, and hopefully I don't cover up the camera too much. This is my first real YouTube video, so new to this. New to doing YouTube videos. And normally when I put the paint on a cup, I try to do something that kind of matches the glitter because it helps the glitter so the paint doesn't show through, so it helps with the coverage. But I didn't have a paint that kind of matched this glitter, so I just went with a white on this one. And as you can see, the coverage is pretty darn good. I have a couple of spots. And make sure you get your edge, and then take your finger and run it along the edge so you don't have any pokey sticking up. And all this glitter is falling off. It's totally fine. I'll recapture it and throw it back in my container. And just let her run around. Now, the one thing you want to do is you want to make sure you get your butt. So I'm just going to tip my tumbler and kind of give it a little on the edge. You can do that a number of ways, but I find is the easiest way to do it. Just tip the tumbler turner. So I'm just looking to make sure I got all my edges. Everything looks pretty good. Now I'm going to let it spin for a minute while I grab up this glitter. Look how pretty that stuff is. It's amazing. Now pour it back in my little container here. 1 second. Alright, so I'm looking and I'm seeing a couple of white spots, so I'm going to get those real quick. Make sure everything looks good. Let her spin one time around here. Just hit her a couple of times. What you can do is if you find that you're really not getting, like if you have a really dark glitter and you use a white paint underneath, and you're really thinking that, oh, the coverage is really bad, I can really see that white through. What you can do is you can take some fine glitter of the same color that you have and put some fine on there, and it will cover those little white spaces for you. All right, so now that that is kind of done, the last thing I want to do before I walk away, because chunky glitter kind of sticks up in places, what you want to do is kind of pat it down, because it'll make it easier when you go and do your resin, because then you use less layers of resin. You won't have to sand as much in order to get that nice smooth finish. I usually use a piece of parchment paper, and I just lightly tap it down. And make sure I get all the, you won't get everything that sticks up, but you'll get a lot of them. You'll save a lot of time later. You'll be happy you did it. You'll be happy you took the time to do it. Including doing the butt there. That's one of the places that, you usually have those sticking up on the edge and on that edge of the butt there. So once you've done that, you're good to go. You can let this dry for about 4 to 6 hours before you go and do your resin layer. I usually let mine dry overnight. That way I know for sure that it is absolutely dry before I put my next layer of resin on. Now what I would do next is put probably a layer of resin on, wait overnight again, and put one more layer on, and see where we're at, and I might at that point have to do a little bit of sanding. And if I do have to sand, then I'll put one more layer on, and I'll come back with another video to do the peekaboo. The one thing I do want to mention, this resin that I'm using, it's ALE Shine. It's aleshine.com. Love this stuff. It's a 1-to-1 ratio with A and B, and they generally have on their website free samples, so you can order a free sample and all you pay is shipping. At least then you get to try it. Free sample is plenty for doing a tumbler, so it's worth a try to see if that's something that works for you. I like it. It has less bubbles, and it has a really clear finish to it. And so I'll put the link to that in the description as well. And that's the video for today. Thank you everybody for stopping by.